Be cool, be kind, be classy. A cupcake so sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Or just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade. Sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. There's a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Sack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish or Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Michigas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Pro said, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcake's sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
We're back. We're back. It's a 2 for Monday. It's a 2 for Monday. I thought that this deserved its own stream. And a lot of people like smaller streams so they can digest them in smaller pieces. And so while we did a 2.5-hour stream this morning on the latest emergency motion in the O'Keefe versus Reed case for Michael Proctor to get out of given his deposition today, we watched that hearing courtesy of Grant Smith Ellis, who has come to see the light. He's Carol Ann, come into the light. Grant Smith Ellis has come into the light. And you guys saw me that he was tweeting. He was happy that I used the stream. So thank you, Grant Smith Ellis, for doing the Lord's work. Let's do something nice today, okay? Kindness, right? The judge said it's all about kindness, right? Grant Smith Ellis, who, we all know relentlessly attacked me in the beginning of when the whole Lindsay Gattani phone extraction was released by somebody on Twitter, called themselves Haley Walbrecht or not Haley Walbrecht. A lot of people thought it was me. It was not me. Grant thought it was me. I think he was sticking up for Lindsay Gattani, and he said a lot of mean things about me. I hope he's taken all of those tweets down, Grant. And, he's admitted that he was wrong. And it is because of Grant Smith Ellis chasing after Alan Jackson with his microphone saying, did you have fun in Cancun with Melanie Little? Or did you do have fun in Mexico with Melanie Little? A couple of times we got merch out of it. I went to Cancun with Melanie Little. We have that merch. It is courtesy of Grant Smith Ellis. If anybody knows how to reach Grant, I would like to send him a sweatshirt because I would like him to have a sweatshirt that says I went to Cancun with attorney Melanie Little, because of course he should have one. Of course he should. Listen, he's also been doing I haven't watched his coverage, so I can't say, but he's been doing a lot of coverage on the war. He's on there. He's out there. He's doing the Lord's work. Listen, it went from 9.27 thousand subscribers to 9.28 thousand subscribers. Let's get him to 10,000 subscribers, and let's do it today. Let's do it today. All right? Let's do it today. I want Grant Smith Ellis to have a sweatshirt, and I want you guys, because you are kind, you are graceful, you are nice, you understand. Sometimes people can be duped, and then they can see the light, and they can come back, and they can apologize. I have grace for him. He just graduated law school, and I'll show you the merch if you think I won't. I will. Hang on one second. It's in the link below this video. There's a link to my merch shop in the show notes below the video. But listen, can we get the guy to 10,000 subs? Of course we can. Of course we can. There was 15,000 people in here watching this morning. Right now, we're bumping up on 2,500 so far. And this was completely last minute scheduled. So we'll give some people a chance to get in. Let me show you the merch. Where is it? There it is. Oh, look, it's 20% off everything in the merch shop. 20% off everything. Hold on, I'll show it to you. If you think I won't, you're wrong, because I will. Get on over there and do it. Let's get him to 10,000. It's called, his channel is called at Grant Smith Ellis, Ellis. I mean, unfortunately for him, he happens to be the son of Wendy Murphy, but I think that he's also against his mother. She's trying to kick him out of the house. It's a terrible story. And in fact, she got really mad at him because he apparently she's friends with, I don't know the whole story. She's friends with Proctor and his cronies, and maybe she was like dating like one of Proctor's friends. I don't know. It's Towel TV. It's the Towel TV network. But the name of the channel is Grant Smith Ellis. Here is the merch shop. It is linked below for your convenience. 2 days left, 20% off everything. But when you buy something, you have to remember to click on this redeem coupon. So you got to redeem the coupon. All right. And then let's look at the merch for I Went to Cancun with attorney Melanie Little. There it is. Established in 2024, because that was the year that he said that. In 2024. And not only do we have like mugs, and I like it because look, it's a skeleton on a surfboard with board shorts. And there's a lot of different merch in this pattern. Look, 20% off everything. What? So then we also have, there's a travel mug in that pattern. We also have an apron. This apron is pretty cool, huh? I mean, who doesn't need an apron? Everyone needs an apron. There's a mouse pad. There's pillow covers, so you can put your own pillow inserts. These pillow covers come in a lot of different colors. Look, green, like turtles are green. There's that color, whatever they call that color. The yellow that I showed you, the navy blue. There's white. There's black. There's a beanie, which is kind of out of season right now. Here's a little cute carry-all hemp pouch for under $20. You can pick your color zipper. We've got baby bibs, because your babies should go to Cancun with attorney Melanie Little too. And baby onesies. You guys wanted caps. I gave you 2 versions of caps here. I love a baseball hat. Let's go Avalanche tonight. And the Knicks are going to game 3. A tie-dye tote bag. Come on, isn't this stuff so cute? Look, there's a doggy bandana. And you know whose doggy wears that bandana? Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Kelsey Fitzsimmons' dog Maverick has that bandana because one of you amazing cupcakes must have sent her some merch somehow. All right. Little G loves the merch. Little G is our baby model. Good citizen Weymouth. If you put to the top of my inbox a picture of Little G wearing the merch, I'll put it up again. I just can't look for it right now. But if you want to pop it to the top of my inbox right now and just put Little G merch model, and you approved me of showing Little G. Look, there's a little teddy bear. I think somebody sent Kelsey the teddy bear too. I mean, come on, so cute. And then we also have, of course, t-shirts. Periwinkle blue. It's not Tiffany blue exactly, but it's nice. And then there's black. And then there's, we got the ladies V-neck tee, because well, that's a scoop neck. I like V-necks because, you know, if you're a little more full-chested, V-necks are more flattering, let's just say. This is my favorite hoodie. The I Went to Cancun with attorney Melanie Little hoodie in the blue. They do ship to the UK, and they do ship to anywhere, really. You just have to, it's not Amazon, you guys, right? It doesn't come like overnight. It takes like maybe 10 days or a week, but it's worth it because like these sweatshirts are really nice. They're $40. They're 20% off right now. 20% off of the 40. I don't know. I guess they raised the price because I would never have weird prices like that. It's not me. I make like $1 a shirt. I go through Spreadshop because that is what I have found to be the best third-party reseller. Stickers. This is the softest hoodie you will ever own. It is Bella and canvas. This is the really, really soft one. $46, but again, 20% off. It's got cool colors. Oh, I guess they stopped making that orange color. I have it in like a really cool orange. I also have it in white. And it's super soft, and I love it. So if anybody knows how to reach out to Grant, tell him that if he emails me to my proper email, fanbase@mlittleall.com, I would like to send him a sweatshirt because he should absolutely have an I Went to Cancun with attorney Melanie Little sweatshirt. And so many of you have the hoodie. Suze has the hoodie. She does. Scott McGinnis, boots on the ground, always says that Grant is highly intelligent. I have had some very interesting discussions with him face to face many times, but Grant can get so fixated into his narratives and drama, but he truly is harmless inside. Right. So I'm showing him grace. I forgive him. I want to give him a sweatshirt, and I also want you to help him to get to 10,000 subs like today. Okay. No, I should make that though. Karma knows your address. That would be a great, excellent shirt to make. Karma knows your address. I got a lot of notes today on everything we've been talking about. All right. It is. We're full circle now. We are full circle on this. So get in there, get your merch for 20% off. And also there's other designs too. We have the Attorney Melanie Little concert stuff that has all the designs on the back. I mean, all the sayings on the back. So we made a tour shirt because of course we did. We made a tour shirt like this because we had old fashioned concert shirts in mind when we made this. This was the Attorney Melanie Little XOXO tour from 2025. And it says, join the snark tank. I can't read what it says there because I'm half blind, but on the back, it's got all the sayings from the Karen Reed trial and all the things that I said on the air during the 2 years. God save us from the, here's the set list on the back. God save us from the Commonwealth. Call me Alice. Followed by show me the papers. The world is watching. Grave concerns. Talk amongst yourselves. There was no collision. Buy the tickets. Pin it on the girl under her eye. She's telling them everything, etc., etc. With 2 encores at the bottom. We ain't got no quit. And I love you with all of my heart. So go on with your bad selves. Get yourself some merch because who doesn't want to be a cupcake? This football tee is kind of cute too. It's like a ladies football tee. And on the back, it also has the set list. All of these come in many different colors. And I think there might even still be some free Karen Reed stuff. Oh yeah, this one has like free Karen Reed on the front. And then it has, I think it has the Cancun on the back. Yeah. And what you didn't know, because I don't tell people about the, philanthropic things that I do, is that we had other merch with that said free Karen Reed. And what I did with all the proceeds of that merch was sent DoorDash gift cards to feed the team during trial number 2. And so you guys fed the team for a couple of days, a couple $100 worth of food to the team. And so you did that because that's what you do. And because we don't, put our names on things. We also have It's Strange Credulity still up. This is the Alice in Wonderland It's Strange Credulity merch, which you can get as well. So go on with your bad selves. Get yourself a little treat. Oh, man. I also added a bunch of stuff to my Amazon recommendations list, which is also linked under this video. I have found something that has changed my life. I want to reach out to actually the owner of the company before I start promoting it because I want to promote her and I want her to get the money directly rather than having the money go to Amazon. So before I tell you about that, does anybody know about grass-fed tallow cream? I'm telling you, I started using this cream when I ordered it like a week ago. My skin has changed. It is like for all of us who are older, like 50 plus, you know how dry your skin gets. Your skin changes. You think it's collagen. I've been trying collagen powder, everything. You get facials. You do all the things, all the stuff. This beef-fed tallow, and I did link it in my Amazon wish list. I mean, it's not a wish list. I'm not wishing for you to buy me things. I'm wishing for you to buy yourself things. Has lipids in it. So instead of just all your moisturizers are made from water. Listen, I've tried every moisturizer on the planet. It's in the show notes below the video. Hang on one second. I have tried every moisturizer on the planet from La Mer to like, everything. I love, hold on, let me get the list up so I can show it to you. To like Nivea, to like the stuff from the drugstore. I've tried everything and nothing has changed my skin as quickly as this stuff has. Hang on for 1 second. Because instead of just being made out of water, mostly, you love tallow. This stuff it's orange vanilla flavor. It smells delicious. It feels amazing going on. It's like so creamy. Oh, are you guys using it too? Gigi too? You love the JLab earbuds. Listen, I'm not here. I don't make money off this stuff. Like I make very little money off this stuff. Okay. They send me like an Amazon gift card if you guys buy something for like 50 cents. Just hang on for 1 second while I find my own link to my own Amazon storefront. Hold on. So I can show you exactly what this stuff is and where you can find it. And I've added a bunch of stuff because literally there are some life-changing products on there that I love so much. Hold, please. All right, so here it is. I have a whole skincare list because you guys are always asking me, like, what do you use on your skin? Here it is. Here's the new thing that I discovered. One second. I don't know why I can't just pull this up as like a person who's not signed. Let me just sign out of Amazon and see if it'll come up the same way. All right, whatever. All right, here you go. Here's the thing. This is it. It is made by a small family company. And it is called Whipped Tallow Balm. Whipped Tallow Balm. It's I don't know where it is. It's like $39 or something, or $29. I think it's even on sale right now. So and it's amazing. This is delicious. This is like vanilla orange is the flavor that I got, and I love it so much. I think one day we'll do a members only, like just shopping stream. I just want to go shopping. It's 20% off right now. It's $31. So why don't I mean, I'll put the link in the chat if anybody is interested in it. It's handmade. It's really, 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 really good. And a lot of you are already using it. I've never, ever, ever even known about it. Yeah, there's flavors. I like the vanilla orange. It's the only one I have so far. They also have blue Outback. They've got butter almond. It's going to change your life, really. I mean, I tell you something. When I don't recommend things to you unless I actually really use them. And I promise you, it'll change your life. Because I wouldn't lie to you. But because I can't do this on the fly so much. But if you want me to, I will put the link in the show notes or in the chat or something. Because we got to get to Noonan's thing. Because we got a lot of stuff going on today. Did I make this very easy to share the link? I don't know why. But check it out. It's really, really amazing. So check it out. It's made by a company called Hearth and Homestead. Whipped beef tallow is what it is. It's crazy. All right, let me hold on. Copy link. There you go. Here's the link. I don't even know what beef tallow is. It's grass-fed. I don't know. But I'm telling you, it will change your life. Thank you. And there it is. I don't know if I can even pin it. You know, if something is life-changing and it's $30, treat yourself. Okay? Just treat yourself. Don't you agree? Oh, there's Afro Man. Wait a second. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Something's going on weird with the iPhone sort of comments and stuff. Is it bone marrow? That's what I thought it might be bone marrow, but it's amazing. Seriously, my skin has never really. Look, I have nothing on. This is it. Beef tallow, and a little bit of eyebrow stuff, and a little bit of mascara, and a little bit of eyeshadow by Morphe. And Elf. Elf has amazing eyeshadow palettes. They're like $8 in CVS. Everything's in my list. Go there. Okay. Let us turn now to for those of you who are not familiar with the Kelsey Fitzsimmons horror show that we had a front row seat to. I just noticed that this is my 41st video on Kelsey Fitzsimmons. 41st. That is how long we have been covering Kelsey Fitzsimmons. The first show that I did was right after her arrest in July of 2025. And there are 40 shows, and I don't even know how many hours, countless hours. And here is the quick summary that is in the show notes below. They're way more extensive than they need to be because many of you have been here with me since day one. Tim Bradl, who also represents Aiden Carney, aka Turtleboy, represents still Kelsey Fitzsimmons, who was 28 years old when she was shot in the chest on June 30th of 2025 by a fellow officer by the name of Patrick Noonan, who was serving her with a 209A order, which in Massachusetts is a DV restraining order, and an order to take her baby away. Kelsey also was a North Andover police officer, and Patrick Noonan was her co-worker. Kelsey's fiancé, Justin Aylaian, went into court that very same day, ex parte, and got an order from a judge because he wrote a whole bunch of stuff on an affidavit that he said that Kelsey was a danger to herself and to his child, and he wanted the baby taken away from her. And without Kelsey being heard, the judge issued these orders. I'm just really skimming the surface on what I'm telling you here because there's a huge playlist that you should go watch every single bit of because the way women are treated in Massachusetts is horrific. And Kelsey Fitzsimmons was a North Andover police officer. Also, her fiance, Justin Aylaian, was a North Andover firefighter. They were engaged to be married in October of 2025. They had a baby together. At the time, the baby was 4 months old. We do not name him in this chat, please. Her baby was taken away from her. So she was shot in the chest. She was airlifted to a Boston hospital where she remained for 53 days. While she was in the hospital, she was arrested and brought up on charges for attempted murder of Patrick Noonan because he says that she whipped out a gun and pointed it at him. And he just says that he shot her so that she wouldn't shoot him. She says she pointed the gun at her head and wanted to take her own life because in that moment that these 3 fellow male police officers came to serve her with the order to take her baby away and the restraining order, she saw her life flash before her eyes. Now, she had also been out on postpartum depression. She was out of work and she had just been cleared back to work. She got her guns back, she got her badge back, and she was just supposed to go back to work around July 3rd or 4th. And this was June 30th. And we're going to watch because we're going to watch Noonan's police interview. I believe that a lot of this was very calculated, very intentional, very, you can tell me what you think too. And so what had happened was Kelsey was originally charged with 3 felonies, armed assault with intent to murder, and 2 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Kelsey had been suffering from postpartum. Her fiance, Justin, was very supportive, allegedly. And Bradl from the beginning has said that Noonan improperly used deadly force when Kelsey was in the midst of a mental health crisis. We also saw video of Justin Aylaian and his 3 buddies breaking into Kelsey's house while she was in the hospital, taking a whole bunch of stuff out of there, allegedly disabling the alarm system, disabling the cameras, took her laptop. There's a lot of allegations about what this guy Justin did. And the DA's office in, what the hell county is this again? Salem, said that they would not prosecute Justin Lane because in their mind, it was not a crime. Okay. I like the vanilla orange the best. I do. And so what happened was Judge McCarthy Neyman, agreed to release Kelsey on her own recognizance on August 28th of 2025. Then the judge said she needed to do some background checks on everyone in the house who lived with. Kelsey could only be released to her mother and stepfather's custody. She was a grown woman living on her own, owned her own home that she had to sell to pay her legal fees, by the way. And Judge McCarthy Neyman had to do some background checks, and I think one of her siblings might have had to move out of the house because of something in their background. She was finally released on September 8th of 2025, and one of the conditions of her release was that she had to breathe into this handheld alcohol monitor, even though alcohol was not related in the charges at all. It was very difficult for Kelsey to breathe into this thing for sustained periods because she had shattered ribs and still had pieces of a bullet lodged in her chest, and also had a lacerated liver and many other injuries that she was fighting for her life. I think at one, she had 5 surgeries. She was scheduled for a 6th. And Bradl came into court on an emergency motion, very similar to Proctor's emergency motion, and said, Your Honor, could it be possible that she just instead be P-tested instead of breathing into this thing? Because, cruel and inhuman treatment, it's very painful to her, and we don't want her to have to go through excruciating pain for hours at a time after she breathes into this thing. Judge McCarthy Neyman said, oh, cruel and inhuman, you say? Well, guess what? She's going back to jail. So she was sent back to jail. It went up through many, many appeals. And finally, Kelsey was able to be released from jail all the way in Chicopee, because she also had been a corrections officer. So for her safety, they had to put her in Chicopee, where one of the corrections officers ripped up her photos of her baby and threw them all over the cell, because you can't even make this up. Kelsey was not allowed to see her baby for over 100 days. She finally was let out 2 days before Christmas. 2 days before Christmas, even though all of her appeals failed, they went into court. They said, change the circumstances, Your Honor. She'll blow in the thing now. She'll do it. She's been working on it. She's been practicing breathing in jail. Please, please, please let her out. 2 days before Christmas. Kelsey's attorneys made a motion to recuse Judge McCarthy Neyman. And before that motion could even be heard, the chief judge removed Judge McCarthy Neyman the very next day. There were allegations of backdoor conversations and personal ties to maybe some people in this case. And before it could even be heard, right away, the judge was removed. Kelsey spent a total of 103 days in jail, which is more than the guidelines recommended. Oh, because I forgot to tell you, if you're new, that the attempted murder charge went all the way to a grand jury, and the grand jury failed to indict her on attempted murder. So the case went to trial on only the assault charge. And it was a bench trial in front of Judge Karp in Salem. Why am I blanking out on the county? And Kelsey was acquitted of all charges after a bench trial on March 25th of 2026 by Judge Karp. She was kept away from her child for how many days, chat? From the time her baby was 4 months old until about 10 months. Essex County, thank you. Essex County, which is the court was in Salem, right? Essex County, thank you. I can't be expected to remember everything, you guys. So she missed every developmental milestone of her son from the age of 4 months until the age of 14 months. She could not attend his baptism. She could not, you know the story. It's horrific. And now what has just been released, courtesy of our friend at Trial Channel. Trial Channel has a second channel called Trial Files. Did you know that? We've talked about it before, but you might not know that. So what you need to do also, because you're so loving and giving, all of you, is get on over and check out the Trial Files channel. See, Trial Files, which is also run by Trial Channel. Right now, it only has 2.16 thousand subscribers. So around 2,160 subs, and should have made way more than that. Trial Files has released the video of Noonan's police interview. And boy, is it interesting. We're going to watch it together. It's only 23 minutes long. Could you imagine? This is only a 23-minute long interview with Patrick Noonan, the officer who shot Kelsey Fitzsimmons in the chest on July 3rd. They interviewed him on July 3rd of 2025, 8:30 in the morning. Remember, the shooting was on June 30th. So they gave him 72 hours to come up with his story and his timeline And you're going to go, if you haven't seen this, you might go nuts. You might be newly outraged. But we did see Kelsey acquitted together. And boy, did we cry. I'm not crying, you're crying. And then remember Tim Bradl and Kelsey hugging at the end. And Kelsey is still in a horrific battle for custody, but one thing at a time. So let's take a look at the Massachusetts State Police interviewing North Andover police officer Patrick Noonan. He's a veteran. I forget how many years he had been on the force, but he went to somewhere else, then came back to North Andover. Here's one thing that bothers me right off the top. This is a video. There's a video camera in the room. See it? The video is never on Noonan. It's never on Noonan. There's no video of Noonan. We can only hear his voice. And so when he says in his interview, that she was over here and I was over here, we don't know what he's talking about because the camera is never on him. What the actual F is going on here? He went to Lawrence PD, right? And then he went back to North Andover PD. What is the point of having a video recorded interview if you don't put the camera on the person that you're interviewing? Another weird thing about this, to me, is that he's not asked any questions in the beginning of the interview. He just reads. I don't know if he's reading from something or if he's just giving a narrative. There's no questions asked of him. He just starts telling his story. And so I have a lot of questions about this. You're going to get mad. Right. They took the body cam off. Oh, they took the body cam off and put it on the table? Is that what you're saying, Lauren? There was no body cam footage of the shooting of Kelsey Fitzsimmons because they don't wear body cam in North Andover. And so it was a he shed, she shed. It was a he said, she said. And Judge Karp, although in his ruling at the end, when he came to his verdict, he did say that, they were both credible and blah, 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 blah. But he wasn't buying what Noonan was selling. Okay. So he's giving his statement, but it's in the narrative. Let's start it. I'm going to stop it constantly. So if you would like to watch an uninterrupted version and you're going to complain about me stopping it and commentating on it in real time, please go watch it over on the trial files. I'm a giver. All right, here we go. He had 3 days to get his story straight and he's going to tell us everything, but we're not going to get to see him one bit because the body cam is focused on the interviewer.
So, my name is David Strong. I'm a sergeant with the Mass State Police. I work out of the DA's office. It's Thursday, July 3rd at 8:29 a.m. We're at the North Andover Police Department.
Okay, this is me. This is the video, audio. She says here, audio has been enhanced as much as possible. She's out there doing the Lord's work over there on Trial Files trial channel. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? All right. So this guy is with Mass State Police because they're investigating the investigation. They're investigating. He's a proctor. Yep. He's a sergeant. Sergeant David Strong. And again, audio okay? Okay. Again, why is the camera not focused on Noonan? I want to see his facial expression. No, I know that you can hear me. I want to know if my audio is even with the trial files audio. Okay. Sometimes it needs a boost. Good. Okay.
So, my name is David Strong. I'm a sergeant with the Mass State Police. I work out of the DA's office. It's Thursday, July 3rd at 8:29 a.m. We're at the North Andover Police Department.
Good morning. My name is Detective Lieutenant Robert DeMeo. I work with the State Police DA's office as well.
Good morning, Patrick Noonan. I'm a police officer with the North Andover Police Department.
Good morning, Gary Nolan, Nolan. I'm counsel to the NEPBA and the North Andover Police Patrolmen's Union.
Okay, so he's got a lawyer with him. Nothing wrong with that. He should have a lawyer with him because remember, Nicholas O'Malley is currently looking at charges. David Yanetti's representing him. He's a police officer, a Boston police officer, who is looking at charges for shooting a carjacker. So Noonan could have been charged with shooting his fellow officer, but he's lawyered up. It's his union lawyer. There's nothing wrong with that, but Noonan was never charged. Kelsey was charged. Okay.
So, we're here to talk about the incident that happened on Monday.
Yes.
Hoping you could just go through your day from about the time you get notified of the call and what happened.
Sure thing.
So they do give him the green light to give his narrative. Just go through your day, from time you got notified of the call and what happened. He's going to give us a little bit more than that too, even.
Yes.
Hoping you could just go through your day from about the time you get notified of the call and what happened.
Sure thing. So on Monday, I was working a swap for another officer on my day off. After roll call, I proceeded to my sector of patrol. And I think around approximately 2 hours later, I received a phone call from Officer Houston to see if Lieutenant Daly reached out to me. I said, no, what's going on? He said, could you meet me behind the CCC, which is, the CCC is like a grade school near the Atkinson. And he said that we have to serve papers to Officer Fitzsimmons.
Okay. Meet me behind the CCC. That's the school that's right near Kelsey's house. That's where Kelsey's car was parked. Remember, they made a big deal about where her car was parked and that it was so weird. He's going to tell us more. I do believe that Officer Houston and Officer Daly, I think both of them testified at the trial. I didn't get a chance to go back and listen to it again. But he said, meet me at the CCC. We got to serve papers on Officer Fitzsimmons. Okay.
And that was it. I said, all right, and I'll meet you there and you can fill me in. I met up with Officer Houston and he let me know that Officer Fitzsimmons, her fiance, had just taken out a restraining order and we were there to serve it, confiscate her firearms, and then we were going to section her. Lieutenant.
I'm sorry, what? You were going to serve her with the papers, confiscate her firearms, and then you were going to section her? Remember, they also tried to section Karen Reed. For those of you who don't know, Section 12 in Massachusetts is similar to, in other states, a 72-hour hold or a 5150 hold. That's what they call it in Massachusetts. Did we know that they were going to section her? It's so interesting because, as I recall from the Karen Reed trials, wasn't it Sergeant Good on his cruiser dash cam says, yeah, we're going to section her about Karen Reed? Now, I didn't look it up yet, and so I don't know what the procedure is for sectioning someone. But in Karen Reed's case, I think it was alleged that she had made threats to harm herself. And so that's why they sectioned her. But how would you know ahead of time that Kelsey would need to be sectioned? I don't think that was in any of the court documents that we read together. But listen to this again. And we know that they know about the restraining order because Justin and his sister called the North Andover PD a couple of times that day to say things like, well, can't you stop her from taking the baby out of the state? And we're going to go to court and get an order. Like, they knew that this was happening. And instead of being on, or supporting their fellow officer, Kelsey Fitzsimmons, who was a police officer at North Andover PD, they're like trying to help the guy who's trying to get an order against her. Here's the other thing. Kelsey Fitzsimmons had to file an action against Chief Gray of North Andover PD to get her guns back and her badge back to get cleared for duty. I don't know if that's pro forma. I don't know if that's something that you got to do all the time, but I don't think he was very happy with her because there were other cases pending against Chief Gray for the way that they treated female officers in that department. One of those female plaintiffs against the department was a woman by the name of Katie, who Justin spoke to a couple of times that day, Katie Gerke. And Katie Gerke's case against the North Andover PD, we went over this a lot of times. I think it had just settled, or it settled after this, maybe in December of 2025. I can't be exactly sure now, but you guys might know better than I do. But The fact that Noonan is telling them 3 days later, our job was threefold. Serve her with the papers. Well, you did do that. Confiscate her firearms. You didn't do that. And then we were going to section her. Wow. So what you're saying is you were going to take her to the hospital against her will. Did you tell her that when you went there? Because if she already was on edge that you were taking her baby away and she saw her upcoming marriage now in shambles, she got broken up with by a restraining order, essentially, had driven by somebody's house on the way where Justin was and like her bridesmaids were, and they were all colluding against her maybe, but they say they weren't. Did you tell her you were going to section her? Is that what threw her over the edge too? Or were you just going to get her into the hospital one way or another? And another way to do that would be to shoot her. Wow. I have questions. He was on a swap. This is he was on a swap. You make grass-fed beef tallow? What? So crazy. Yes, the affidavit was missing. She was not, Stryker sent me an email. She was not served with the affidavit attached to the papers, and she's supposed to be. Oh, and Larry thinks that women have no business being cops. And he says, imagine a woman giving birth and then playing cop. Oh, it's so nice of you to come in here, Larry Romano. Oh, and then wait a second. On your channel, you've got like godly things on there about Catholics and wow. You actually have a YouTube channel with content with 11 subscribers. Congratulations. Bye-bye. Congratulations to all your 11 subscribers. I'm surprised that you have all this Catholic content on your channel. Okay. Good luck to you, sir. Weirdo. Hang on one second. I'm ready. Are you anti-Catholic? No. So you got to disrupt the whole class. All right. Listen to that again.
And he let me know that Officer Fitzsimmons, her fiance, had just taken out a restraining order, and we were there to serve it, confiscate her firearms, and then we were going to section her. Lieutenant Daly showed up, explained everything that Officer Houston did, and Lieutenant Daly stated that he would be the one to knock on the door, present the restraining order, and take it from there.
Okay.
Once we arrived at the house, before we arrived at the house, we noticed that she had parked her vehicle as far away from her house.
Okay. Now we can see Noonan's arm on the conference room table. Now we can see his arm. I don't know if anybody knows if those are his tattoos, but I'm going to say it's his arm because he's trying to emphasize his speech, but we don't see his face at all. It's just an audio recording with a shot of the interviewer from the MSP. Really? Could nobody check the framing of the camera? Casey says, please let me introduce you to my two daughters, both police officers. Congratulations. You raised super chicks. Watch as his arm comes on the table, and he tells us that he thought it was really, really weird that Kelsey parked her car so far away from her house.
Okay.
Once we arrived at the house, before we arrived at the house, we noticed that she had parked her vehicle as far away from her house as possible. I thought that was strange. I looked at.
You thought that was strange? Okay. Are you a Keystone cop, or do you call yourself like a real detective? Are you a real investigator? Because if you thought that was strange and you already had, some suspicions going in that something nefarious might be afoot, why didn't you confiscate her guns first thing? Worst investigator in the world after Proctor. He's going to tell us how suspicious he was about her parking a car far away, but yet he did nothing to secure her guns. Okay, keep going.
Officer Houston, I expressed that I didn't like this scenario, and if we saw her walking to the car, we should box her in and take her into custody as soon as possible. That didn't happen. So we proceeded to the house. Officer Daly, or
Wait. So they're already saying that if we saw her walking to the car, we were going to box her in.
that I didn't like this scenario, and if we saw her walking to the car, we should box her in and take her into custody as soon as possible.
We should box
That
her
didn't
in.
happen. So
We should box her in and take her into custody as soon as possible. You weren't there to arrest her, sir. You were there to serve her with a stay away order and to take the baby. You were not there to arrest her, but you were telling these investigators that if we saw her walk to her car, we were going to box her in and bring her in for what? For walking to her car? For parking her car too far away from her house for your liking? I don't know. She's got a 4-month-old who she's weaning. Maybe she wanted to take some extra steps that day, but you thought it was suspicious. Why? And what would you take her into custody for? That makes no sense.
proceeded to the house. Officer Daly, or Lieutenant Daly, rang the doorbell, and Officer Fitzsimmons, she approached the front door in the foyer with her baby in hand. She acted surprised, what are you guys doing here? What's
Surprised? Yes, she was surprised. This was an ex parte restraining order that you were serving on her. You didn't tell her you were coming. Justin certainly didn't tell her that you were coming to serve her with an order to take her her baby away and break up with her and get a stay away order and say all kinds of stuff that he couldn't back up in the ex parte affidavit. Okay, of course she was surprised. Another reason that your spidey senses might have gone up, detective or officer, or whatever you call yourself.
She acted surprised, what are you guys doing here? What's going on? And it was explained to her that she had a restraining order. She let us in the house, and we proceeded into the family room.
What was her demeanor, everything?
She was distraught.
It's the closed captions say that the MSP investigator said, "What was your demeanor?" But he answers it as in, "What's her demeanor?" So I want to see if I can hear what he's saying by turning it up in my own earbuds.
And we proceeded into the family room.
What was her demeanor, everything?
Her demeanor.
She was distraught, confused, or acting like she was confused.
Acting like she was confused.
Yeah,
Just listen to the words that he uses and tell me if you think that he's trying to paint her as just another crazy woman to these two dudes that he's talking to in the interrogation room, which really is just a conference room with a nice table and a polycom or whatever that looks like in the middle of the table with a body cam on there that's not facing him. Yeah, she was confused, or, she was pretending to be confused, acting like she was confused. Those crazy women. Those women don't have any business being cops. Wink, wink, nod, nod, say no more.
What was her demeanor, everything?
she was distraught, confused, or acting like she was confused. Yeah,
Say no more.
just give me a second.
Give me a second. What, do you need to check your notes? We can't see what he's doing.
I just didn't like it all around. So she sat down.
I didn't like it all around. You didn't like that she was confused or acting to be confused. You just didn't like it all around. You thought she should have known you were coming. If she knew you were coming, she would have baked a cake. I don't know Kelsey personally, but I think if she knew you were coming, she would have baked a cake. I just didn't like it all around. Okay. Again, why didn't you confiscate her weapons? Give me a second. Let me check my notes.
I just didn't like it all around. So she sat down on the couch. I proceeded to scan the family room. I saw on a mantle there was a gun case, and I also observed on one of the couches that abutted the kitchen area, she had a vest and duty belt. So while Lieutenant Daly was speaking with her, I looked at Officer Houston, and I kind of gave him like a glance, like, hey, we be aware of what's going on. I checked the gun case; it was empty. That's a red flag. And I also checked her duty belt. That was empty.
Okay. So the gun case is empty. The gun's not where it's supposed to be. The duty belt is empty, not where the gun's supposed to be. It was a red flag. It was a red flag, and yet you did nothing to confiscate her weapons. You got all these red flags going off in your head. You're giving people looks like, this is suspicious. She's acting surprised. All these red flags are going off in your head, and you do nothing to secure the weapons. Listen to this again. I'm giving Officer Houston a look like, hey, look what's going on here. They did nothing. Here's what he says. On the mantle, there's a gun case. Then there's a vest and a duty belt.
A
all
gun
empty.
case. And I also observed on one of the couches that abutted the kitchen area, she had a vest and duty belt. So while
On the couch.
Lieutenant Daly was speaking with her, I looked at Officer Houston, and I kind of gave him like a glance, like, hey, we be aware of what's going on. I checked the gun case; it was empty. That's a red flag. And I also checked her duty belt. That was empty. So I was kind of concerned of where she was sitting and what was around her at the time. Lieutenant Daly gave her the paperwork, asked her if she wanted to look over it. She said, I know where this is going. She proceeded to read it, and she said, can I keep my baby? At that point, she was told that her fiancé was en route to pick the baby up, and her court date was on the 14th.
Oh, so she was told that Justin was coming to pick up the baby. I don't remember who testified to what at the trial, but I think Kelsey said she didn't know he was coming. But Noonan is telling this investigator that she was told. He doesn't say that he told her. Remember, there was Daly, Houston, we have a problem, and Noonan, like the Caddyshack reference, Noonan. She was notified. She was told that her fiance was coming to pick up the baby. Who wouldn't go berserk? No social worker. Nobody from DCF. Yeah, the guy who has a restraining order against you and is supposed to keep away from you and vice versa is going to come here and violate the restraining order because we're letting him and pick up the baby. She testified she didn't know, right? That's what I remember. Let's hear that again. Can I keep my baby? Imagine the panic, the fear. Did he say at the trial that he didn't know Justin was coming? Or did Kelsey say that, or both? But here's what he told investigators again, 3 days post-shooting.
Can I keep my baby? At that point, she was told that her fiancé was en route to pick the baby up, and her court date was on the 14th.
Right. It's June 30th. Don't worry. Your court date's on the 14th. Your fiance, who obviously hates you, is coming to get the baby. Don't worry. No big whoop. You can see your baby. You can have a hearing. You're going to have a hearing in 2 weeks. Kelsey testified at the trial. Like 2 weeks was might have as well as been 15 years. Or what I'm summarizing. I don't remember exactly what she said, but 2 weeks was a hell of a long time away to not see your baby.
So she would have to surrender her firearms and obviously her son as well for
Give me a
the
sec,
next
give me a
couple of
kid.
weeks. She wasn't happy with
Snorts. Closed captions say snorts. And obviously she would have to, surrender her firearms and obviously, her son for a couple of weeks, and then he snorts.
as well for the next couple of weeks. She wasn't happy with that.
Oh, is that hard to understand, officer? That she wouldn't be happy with that? She said 14 days was the equivalent of a lifetime. Hi, Megan. Hi, Megan. I love you, girl. She wasn't happy with that.
She was asked to gather up some belongings for the baby for the next couple of weeks. At which point she got up, she handed the baby off to me. I wasn't comfortable with that because I don't like my hands full.
She hands the baby to him. She said because she trusted him. He was uncomfortable with that because he didn't like his hands full. But think about this, right? You're all suspicious because she parked her car too far away. You're suspicious because the firearms are not in the gun case or in the duty belt. You've now got possession of the baby. You don't want your hand, but you've got like part of your job done, right? You've got possession of the baby. So I don't know, somebody could have taken baby out of harm's way if you were so suspicious that something might happen because you don't know where the guns are at this point, right? But he gets uncomfortable because the baby's crying, passes the baby off to one of the other officers, and still does not secure her weapons. There are so many missteps here. Is he even being investigated, Noonan? See you, bus. Mom says, thanks for this. This inspired me to take the next steps. July 6th, I start graduate studies in forensic psychology to help people in these situations. I love that so much. Scope buffs. And thank you to Strange Credulity for gifting a membership. You're amazing. Oh, Veronica's in LA. Thanks, Veronica. Watching Melanie since the morning out here in LA. Oh, you're on the best coast. It's a beautiful day here. I did go outside. I almost did not come back in, but I promised you I would, so I did. Mama She, thanks for your 10. Are they ever going to fix the issue with mobile users and member emojis? Love you. I don't know. Emily Baker knows a lot more about that than I do because she has like a bad phone to the YouTube people. They don't care about me, but ask her. She's a better person to ask. Thank you so much for your 10. And Andrea, I see that you said that somebody sent me Grant's address, but like, unless he sends it to me himself, I'm not just going to ship him something. Here we go.
The baby was crying. I tried to feed the baby, console it, at which point Kelsey walked off into, there was another room to the right of the front. It looked like there was some weights in there. Lieutenant Daly and Officer.
So you're afraid of her and you're letting her just walk into a weight room. A lot of people surmise that someone else might have been murdered with a weight. But you just let her go. You just let her walk into despite all of your suspicions. Oh, wait, did he say it? Hold on a second. Hold on, I didn't see that part. Hold on.
To feed the baby, console it, at which point.
Console it. He just called the baby it. Just like the Haas defendants called Chloe, their pet of 7 years, it, when they were testifying about the whereabouts of Chloe in trial number 1, specifically Brian Albert and Nicole Albert. It. I gotta hear that again.
I tried to feed the baby, console it, at which point.
Console it. You tried to feed the baby? I thought you didn't want your hands full. Why would you try to feed the baby if you didn't want your hands full? Because you needed to be able to pull out your gun and shoot it at any moment. Yeah, I guess his plan was to rehome it. Thank you. Thank you, 18-wheeled Maligator crate.
Kelsey walked off into, there was another room to the right of the front. It looked like there were some weights in there.
Weapons. They could be weapons weights,
Lieutenant
right?
Daly and Officer Houston escorted her in there. she came back out with like a stack of diapers. And then she went into the kitchen. Both Lieutenant Daly and Officer Houston escorted her into the kitchen. And she came back out, I think, with a couple bottles or some baby formula. We asked her where the firearms were. She said that they were in the basement in a safe. At this point,
And you believed her? You asked her where her firearms were, and she said in the basement and a safe, and you believed her about the firearms, but you thought that it was really suspicious that she parked so far away from the house. Really, sir? Really, dude? What if in that she went into the other room and came back out with a stack of diapers? What if there was a weapon inside the stack of diapers? Wow.
I was pretty close to the stairs going upstairs, kind of like in the front entrance. And she said she had to go upstairs to get some baby clothes. I forget where Lieutenant Daly or Houston was, but I remember passing the baby off. And I escorted her upstairs, and I believe Officer Houston came up with me. It was always 2-on-1. When you come up to the stairs,
It's always 2-on-1. Zoe pointing out Noonan. Why was Kelsey being directed to pack a bag for the baby? Kelsey had zero legal responsibility to supply Justin with anything. If it's an emergency removal, no need to pack stuff. Priorities, right? Because it's the mom's job to do that kind of stuff, Zoe. You know, the old barefoot and pregnant thing. It's always 2-on-1. The number of police procedures that were not followed in this interaction are mind-blowing. And yet I don't think he's under any investigation, is he? Or if he was cleared quickly, I'm sure.
And I escorted her upstairs.
He's motioning
and
with his hands.
Officer Houston came up with me. It was always 2-on-1. When you come up to the stairs,
It was always 2-on-1, meaning 2 cops on 1 Kelsey, except for when I shot her in the chest. Then it was just me and her. And so it's only my story and her story. So it wasn't always 2-on-1. It's supposed to be, I guess, under your police procedures, but you know, psh.
it was a very when you come up to the stairs, there's a very brief small hallway. Master bedroom to the right, baby's room is on the left.
Brief hallway.
She took a left into the baby's room, and I think there was some clutter in that little hallway.
Listen for how he disparages her housekeeping. Okay, this is the first time he brings up the clutter, but he's going to talk about it a lot more, as if she wasn't being the good little wifey mommy that she was supposed to be, because the house was a mess. Like, he's got no responsibility to clean anything up. It's all on her. Listen, it's going to get worse. Trigger warning you. The house is pretty much in disarray. A lot of clutter in the hallway.
Baby's room, and I think there was some clutter in that little hallway. The house was pretty much in disarray, clothes everywhere, furniture displaced. It just didn't. Anyways,
Look at the face of the investigator. I think I forgot to write his name down. He's looking at this guy like Noonan thinks he's going to get yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. Yeah, I get it. What a mess. Like, she had no business having that baby in the first place, right? And he gets nothing out of him. So then he quickly says, oh, anyway, we went into the baby's room. Watch the stone-faced investigator. Maybe he knows what it's like to have an infant, and maybe he doesn't hold it against his wife if the house isn't spotless when he comes home. Watch this. Zooming in on the investigator.
And I think there was some clutter in that little hallway. The house was pretty much in disarray, clothes everywhere, furniture displaced. It just didn't. Anyways, we went into the
Stone-faced. Furniture displaced. Oh. Remember when we saw a picture of the chair in the bedroom that had been like moved away from like where the gun was in that trunk? And we said, oh, maybe the first responders moved that chair when they came in. But what is he talking about? Furniture displaced, right? What does he mean by that? Right. No misogyny with Noonan, Michael. No, none at all. Yes, we saw pictures, right? Escato says that's the look that investigators give when they know it's bullcrap. Cheryl Spencer's like, yeah, it was a hoarder's nightmare. We've seen houses like that. Enter Rex Yearman. Furniture displaced. Anyways, we went into the baby's room.
And she got down on her knees, started folding clothes.
So you let her get on her knees and fold clothes and you never made any attempt to secure the guns, Officer Noonan? Is that what you're saying? You just took her word for it, but you were so suspicious about her car was. None of this makes any sense. Empty gun case, empty duty belt, car parked far away, all of these suspicious things, but you let her kneel down on the ground to fold clothes, which is not a priority here. Safety should be your priority. Mm-hmm.
And tried to hand off she stacked up some baby clothes on, I think, like a car seat. And she handed it off to me and asked me to bring it downstairs. I told her we can take care of that in a minute. And I put the car seat down.
Kelsey testified the reason that she did that was give him the car seat full of stuff to bring downstairs is because she wanted to be alone, because she wanted to take her own life. That's what Kelsey said. I can't wait for the civil case either. It's coming. They've notified us that they're going to do it. But remember, there's a presentment period. We learned in Massachusetts is it's not 3 months because in New York it's 3 months. I think in Massachusetts it's 6 months. He's like, yeah, we can take care of that in a minute.
I told her we can take care of that in a minute. And I put the car seat down, I believe, in the hallway.
I believe in the hallway. Kelsey says he left, and that's when she put the gun to her head. I believe in the hallway. So he's not so sure about putting that car seat down in the hallway. Maybe he really did take it downstairs because he obviously trusted her enough to not secure the guns, right?
She then looked over there was like a bookshelf in the back of the room. And kind of like a round, I don't know what it was, just a bag, let's put it that way. And she said that she had to load up books for the baby. And I looked at Kelsey and I said, don't worry about that. Your baby's only like 6 months old. We don't have to, don't worry about the books. But she proceeded.
Did you hear his chuckle? Don't worry about that. Your baby's only like 6 months old. We don't need to worry about the books. I don't know, Officer Noonan. Some people read to their baby every night, despite age. And by the way, he was only 4 months old. Trying to get a laugh out of the Massachusetts State Police trooper that's interviewing him, and it's not working. If you can come to your screen safely, please do so. Not you, my 18-wheeler friend. But if you can come. We can't see Noonan's face, of course, because why should we have to see his face, or why should we get to see his face? Don't you think seeing his face during his testimony here would be so important? It's not, I don't know that he was sworn in before this testimony because it's really just a witness interview because he's just a witness. Not a suspect. He's just a witness. If you can watch, because we're going to watch the trooper, his reaction to this.
And she said that she had to load up books for the baby. And I looked at Kelsey and I said, don't worry about that. Your baby's only like 6 months old. We don't have to, don't worry about the books. But she proceeded to keep loading the books up.
He's making
she
motions
handed
like
it off to me and asked me to bring it downstairs. And I told her we can take care of that in a minute. And I put that down in the hallway. Officer Houston.
So that was another thing. This time he says, I put that down in the hallway. The first time with the car seat with the clothes, he says, I think I put that down in the hallway. This is the second thing he's being given with the books in it, right? He's apparently never had to read to a child before. Hello, New Hampshire woman. I hope you're having a beautiful New Hampshire summer.
Let me rewind.
Let me rewind. I forgot to tell you this part. She said, I did it. I did it. I did it. I hit him. I hit him. I hit him.
While she was doing this, someone came in through the front door. It sounded like an older woman, and she was causing a scene with Lieutenant Daly, and I could hear her verbally saying, how can you take a baby away from its mother?
An older woman saying, how can you take a baby away from his mother? From its mother? Wait, did you just, the caption say it's? Didn't, I may be wrong on this, but I remember testimony about we let Kelsey call her mother. I don't remember who said it. But now he's just like, there's some woman down there. She was causing a scene because, all women are crazy and irrational. And of course, some elderly woman came. Did he say elderly? Older woman causing a scene. Listen, how dare she cause a scene when you show up unannounced to serve her with a restraining order to take her baby away? Could have given the baby to her mother. Grandma could have taken the baby. But no, because Justin and his sister and his mother had a plan, maybe. And they planned it in cahoots with these guys, the North Andover PD. We heard the recordings of their phone calls.
It sounded like an older woman, and she was causing a scene with Lieutenant Daly, and I could hear her verbally saying, how can you take a baby away from its mother?
From its mother. Again, referring to babies as its mother. Polly says the misogyny is strong in this one. We listened to Dave Arenberg on the last stream that we did today, who I guess was, a prosecutor in Florida, with a wild take on it about how, they're going to have to prove that this was pervasive in the culture of, law enforcement. And, they're never going to be able to do that. I don't know. I think Noonan's helping Karen Reed. Because Kelsey Fitzsimmons' case is just as misogynistic. You think Noonan has any text messages in his phone or any voicemails or photos that might be considered misogynistic, racist, anti-Semitic, or anything like that? I don't know. Maybe it is a whole cultural thing in the law enforcement community in Massachusetts, but this is very bizarre. The way he just infers things about the women in the conversation to these two other male troopers is wild.
Kelsey was listening. I was listening, and I asked Kelsey, who is that? I said, is that your mom? And she said, I have no idea. I don't know who that is.
You don't think she would know her mother's voice? Tell me, was there testimony that she called her mother? That they allowed her, or they let her call her mother? You think it's a theme in Massachusetts? Mia Sweetcakes thinks so. F. Fanta. Steve says Noonan literally called her a whack job.
I believe at that point, that's where Officer Houston went downstairs to help out Lieutenant Daly.
Right. It was always 2-on-1. It was always 2-on-1. It was always 2-on-1, but it had to be 2-on-1 on the crazy older woman who was downstairs causing a scene. So I let Houston go, even though I was afraid of Kelsey. Okay, sure, Jan. Cool story, bro.
Once that happened, Officer Fitzsimmons got up,
At least he calls her officer.
said she had to go get some more clothes in her room. When she went into her room, she took a knee. There was a pile of clothes in the middle of the floor. She proceeded to start folding them and putting some clothes in a bag. She said, these clothes are dirty and I have to find some more clothes. I said, don't worry about it. I'm sure wherever Justin is going to bring the baby, her fiance, there's going to be a washer and dryer. Just go with the program.
Just go with the program. Yes, they did call her mother. That's right. Because her mom had been there. That's right. Thanks, Teresa and Carrie. Her mom got to CVS and then she came back. That's right. That's right. We've seen that bedroom. It was pretty small. I don't know if there was a pile of clothes on the floor, but he's got to talk about how messy the house is a number of times. And he's like, just get with the program. Your court date's in 2 weeks. I'm sure it doesn't matter if the clothes are dirty. Right. And he said she was in the baby's room and now she's in the master bedroom. I know one of you amazing armchair detectives will go back to the trial testimony and point out all the differences between what he said during this recorded interview and what he said and others said at the trial. Because we're like a team here. It's like an army. We're like an army of justice warriors.
There's going to be a washer and dryer. Just go with the program. Your court date is in 2 weeks. Everything is okay. Just put whatever clothes you need and let's get back downstairs. She stopped. It almost looked like she froze. She started to shake pretty bad. And I tried to console her and say everything's going to be fine. Her bedroom door. So I'm in the hallway.
Again, this is just a whole ass narrative. She's like, your court date's in 2 weeks, no big whoop. And then she froze and started shaking. Of course she did. Like, I'm not going to see my baby for at least 2 weeks. You mean I have to give my baby to the guy who hates me, who just got a restraining order against me without me even being there? I have no idea why why he has a restraining order. What did he say about me? What did he say to a judge that made them want to take my baby away? And again, there was no bedroom door. That's right. I'm taking it back. Don't worry. He says, get with the program. Your court date's in 2 weeks. Everything is
okay. Just put whatever clothes you need and let's get back downstairs.
I thought she already gave him a bunch of clothes, or was that the books? I'm getting confused now because he's trying to really make himself look really innocent.
She stopped. It almost looked like she froze. She started to shake.
Yeah, because you said you won't see your baby for at least 2 weeks.
Pretty bad. And I tried to console her and say everything's going to be fine.
Oh, you're so
her bedroom
kind.
door. So I'm in the hallway.
There's no door.
I think right near the stairs, probably within as far as we are. She's on a knee.
Again, on a recorded statement where you can't see this man's face and he's just saying about as far as we are. It's not a very clear record. Okay. There should have been follow-up questions on this. How far away were you from her? There is no bedroom door on this room. The door was taken down. There's no bedroom door. We've looked at the Zillow. We have the photos. There's no bedroom door. What is he talking about? A short wall? There's no short wall there. But again, he's talking about this bedroom door that does not exist. The invisible bedroom door.
It'll be fine.
And he's trying to console her and tell her everything's going to be fine. Oh, how nice of you. You sound like such an empath, calling the baby it and all, and the crazy lady downstairs.
her bedroom door. So I'm in the hallway. I think right near the stairs, probably within as far as we are. She's on a knee.
How far do you think away they are? They're sitting across a conference table. All I can see is Noonan's arm. So I don't know. Is he saying they're like 3 feet away, 2.5 feet away from each other? It's hard to judge or gauge any sort of distance in this body cam video. So you're literally like, I don't know, less than 3 feet away from her and she got the drop on you? Okay. Cool story, bro.
The door frame, it's a short wall. So
There's no short wall. What is he talking about?
the door frame's right here.
And again, we can't see anything that he's describing. The door frame is right here. Short wall. I have no idea what he's talking about because we can't see his face or his hands even at this point.
I couldn't see what was behind the door frame to her right, to my left.
Well, maybe you should have been doing a better job. Maybe you should have secured the guns. You couldn't see. It's John Wick.
The door frame to her right, to my left. She lunged, and when she came back, she already had a firearm aimed at me, and she pulled the trigger. I was.
Wow. I mean, that is some John Wick type stuff. That is like some, I don't know. Tell me who she's like a ninja now. She lunges behind the door. She's on a knee. She grabs a gun, but you never took your eyes off her. You just couldn't see what was on the other side to her right, but you never took your eyes off her. And yet she was able to do all that stuff like a ninja. Come on. There was no room to lunge. We've seen pictures of that. Let's just come back and listen to this again. I couldn't see what was behind the door frame to her right. Okay. So you didn't step into the room at that point, sir?
Frame to her right, to my left. She lunged, and when she came back, she already had a firearm aimed at me, and she pulled the trigger. I was already drawing.
Remember, they wanted us to think it was in that shoebox that was on top of the trunk, but really it was like inside of a trunk, inside of a gun case, I think. You're going to correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. She's shaking uncontrollably right. She froze and she was shaking uncontrollably, and she was able to get into that trunk because it wasn't in the shoebox. Remember, she testified she didn't know anything about that shoebox. How that got there, how that was in the picture. She doesn't even know what that shoebox was. Wow. And she pulled the trigger, and then he snorts again and clears his throat. Listen.
And when she came back, she already had a firearm aimed at me, and she pulled the trigger. I was already drawing out and yelling at her to not do it. Drop the gun. Once I saw it, it went click. As I was coming up, she was already backpedaling and doing a tap rack.
She was already backpedaling and doing a tap rack, tap rack, tap rack. We learned a lot about tap rack during this trial. Can we come back from space, Noonan? Yeah, like with the Lexus getting shot off into space. Well done, Twitterbird. Witterbird. Zoe. Lunging, draw, aim, pull. If she lunged at him, she'd be less than 2 feet from his center mass. He'd be able to grab her wrist and redirect her hand away from both of them. Remember, she's something like 5 feet tall, maybe 5'1". I don't remember how tall Noonan is, but he's bigger than she is. She's maybe 100 pounds soaking wet. I don't know. He did nothing to de-escalate the situation, says Max Bang. She's pedaling. She's doing a tap rack. She's doing all this stuff. Remember Bradl cross-examining him on this? That was so good. If you guys haven't watched it, I know I have a 40 video playlist, but the trial itself was only a couple of days.
As I was coming up, she was already backpedaling and doing a tap rack. I'm giving her commands, and I believe I used the right side of the door frame as cover. I mean, I know a round can go through a wall, but that's all I had. At that point, I knew she was.
I know, I knew around. I know around can go, oh, I took cover. He says, I took cover behind the wall. I mean, I know that around can go through a wall, but that was all I had. Was he not wearing a vest? Because she wasn't, because she was shot through the chest.
I'm giving her commands, and I believe I used the right side of the door frame as cover. I mean, I know a round can go through a wall.
I don't know. I don't remember the pictures of the house, but if he's using the right side of the door frame as he's sitting in, or is he standing in the cluttered hallway, the cluttered hallway looking into the master bedroom, the wall to the right, wouldn't he fall down the stairs? And isn't there like a bookshelf at the top? So there was, I don't know that there was any place that he could have taken cover on the other side of that wall, but I'd have to go back and look at the pictures again. Yeah, by the steps. Wouldn't he fall down the steps?
But that's all I had. At that point, I knew she was going to kill me. So
at that point, I knew she was going to kill me. I mean, he thinks if he says this, it's all going to be over for him. And obviously he didn't do anything wrong, so he shouldn't be reprimanded. Pin it on the girl. Charge her. I knew she was going to kill me. And they tried to, and they did arrest her on attempted murder because of that, because he said that. I knew she was going to kill me. Okay.
Had, at that point, I knew she was going to kill me. So I pulled the trigger once, kept giving commands. Nothing happened. I pulled the trigger again. She was still doing a tap rack. And at that point, I saw her flinch and she went over and collapsed, but fell down.
I saw her flinch. Right. Is she left-handed? I mean, is he left-handed, Max? 18-wheeler Maligator, 18-wheeler says. Is he left-handed? Listen to how he describes her flinch, and then she went over and collapsed. He shot twice.
And at that point, I saw her flinch and she went over and collapsed, but fell down. I believe I went in the room and covered down on her, and Lieutenant Daly came in right behind me and asked where the gun is. And I said, it's over here somewhere. She has it. I don't know what I said, like, be careful, or, so he stepped over Kelsey. And I believe when
he stepped over Kelsey like she's a piece of trash on the side of the road. He stepped over her. None of them are trying to give her aid, right? It's a miracle that she's alive. And he has his holster on his right hip. And yet they continue to charge her with the attempted murder.
he rolled her over, the gun was underneath. He picked up the firearm, put it on the bed. I grabbed the firearm because I wanted it away from her. She was still conscious and alert. And I walk over and
She was shot. Didn't the bullet go through and through her chest? But you were more concerned, instead of rendering her aid and maybe trying to save her life. It's a miracle that she did live, by the way. You need to make sure that you got the gun away from her, because you know it's on you that you did not secure the weapons at all, or even try. despite the fact you saw an empty gun case and an empty duty belt. Okay, good, dude, good. They had to try and convict Kelsey Fitzsimmons, because if they didn't, it would have been a huge problem for North Andover PD based on the failure, the abject failure of him and his two buddies following any sort of even semblance of police procedure here. Despite all of their Spidey sentences going up, they did absolutely nothing. And her civil case against them, it's another one that we're going to have to cover with pleasure. They had to convict Kelsey. Otherwise, they opened themselves up to a lot of liability here. More lawsuits against the town of North Andover PD. They already paid out Katie Gerke. I don't know how much. Sure, it's under a protect. I'm sure it's confidential. They had to make this look like she tried to kill him. He said, I knew she was going to kill me. And it snowballed from there. And praise be, Kelsey Fitzsimmons was acquitted on these charges.
Placed it on, there was some sort of a mantle to the left door frame. I know the bed was right here. There
Mantle?
was some sort of a mantle right here. So I put it right there, and I came back and we started rendering aid.
Okay, we can't see anything that he's saying. Here, put it here, put it there, put it here, put it there. We can't see because the camera's not on him. Oh, and then we started rendering aid. Okay.
Right here. So I put it right there, and I came back and we started rendering aid. Lieutenant Daly told Houston to go get the med kit, which he did pretty quickly. And I think at that point, Officer Core came in, and I ordered Core to grab the firearm and secure it and get it the hell out of the bedroom, which he did.
Remember, Noonan had gloves on. He walked into the house with gloves on. He touched the gun. The other guy touched the gun. I don't think the other guy had gloves on.
We proceeded to work on Kelsey. I called in, shots fired, get the ambulance here ASAP. I don't remember if I said anything else over the mic. And shortly thereafter, the medics arrived, and we stepped out to let them take care of Kelsey.
Okay.
And then I was told to just secure the front door. I don't know how, but people were showing up. I don't know who they were.
I don't know how, but people were showing up. I don't know who they were. I don't know. You said that Kelsey was told that Justin was coming to get the baby. People were showing up. We saw him running out of the garage, running out of the basement, and then running out of the garage and tripping over the garage little, the driveway half wall. I could watch that video 100 times over. You don't know who they were. People just were showing up. I don't know who it's kind of like a crime scene. It's kind of like a crime scene on 34th Fairview. People just were showing up. We don't know. Maybe they were law enforcement. Maybe not. After the scene was unsecured all day, people just showed up. I assumed they were law enforcement, but I don't really know. It was dark. And then all of a sudden, the CERT team was given a scavenger hunt list, like find some red taillight pieces and a sneaker, and then we're out of here. Let's go. People just show up at crime scenes. They just do.
Okay.
Retaining wall. Thank you.
And then I was told to just secure the front door. I don't know how, but people were showing up. I don't know who they were.
I don't know. You called shots fired. EMTs, maybe?
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, both.
Okay, now it's his turn to ask questions. Let's see if he hits him with any hard-hitting questions.
Was it your understanding going over there that she was going to be sectioned?
Yes.
The captions are wrong. Was it your understanding going over there that she was going to be sectioned is what I think he says. But I want to hear it again.
I have a, yeah, thanks. Yeah, both.
Was it your understanding going over there that she was going to be sectioned?
She was going to be
Yes.
sectioned.
So I was told, restraining order, secure the firearms, and the last thing was that she was going to be sectioned.
Fail. You failed. You failed. You didn't secure the firearms. Restraining order, firearms, section her. They want to section all the crazy women in Massachusetts. That was the plan. Who got the order to section her? Does it need to be an order? Or can you just section whoever you want? That was your plan before you even walked into that house. You fail. You lose. You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Restraining order, secure the firearms, and the last thing was that she was going to be sectioned.
He snorts.
You said she was parked in a weird spot. You didn't like it walking up to the house. What was it about parking there?
So typically where her house is, it abuts to Mass Ave and then an entrance to the Atkinson School. She always parks in her driveway, and whenever her fiancé is home, he parks right there too.
How do you know that? How do you know that when they always park in the driveway, and that Justin always parks there too? And notice when the only time he taps the table is when he really, 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 really wants the trooper to believe him. He taps the table. It was weird because she always parks in the driveway and he always parks right next. How do you know that? Because you didn't have any conversations with Justin that day, or did you? Or have you been staking her out for a while? Because he's going to say that when they're on break, they go to that elementary school or whatever it is, parking lot, to have their break. That's where they do their breaks. She always parks in her driveway. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you stalking her? Listen to this.
Butts to Mass Ave and then an entrance to the Atkinson School. She always parks in her driveway, and whenever her fiancé is home, he parks right there too. Sometimes, when we're taking breaks on patrol, a lot of us will just pull into that little parking area off to the side and just take a break.
Mm-hmm.
And on this afternoon, she had parked her car all the way down at the end of the parking lot towards the football field. So to me, that was a red flag. It's almost like she knew. It's almost like she was trying to throw off, like she wasn't home, or to hide that she was around. Like she knew we were coming. I don't know how, but
How do you? She knew we were coming. I don't know how. She absolutely did not know that you were coming. She never in a million years thought that her fiancé would betray her like this. Wow. And they go there for their breaks. They park in that school parking lot, and they're like, no, where she parked. It's weird.
You described the clutter in the house.
yeah.
Had you been to her house before? Did you know what he was doing?
No, just the outside.
Here he goes. He's going to disparage her homemaking skills. He's like, you talk about the clutter. Have you ever been there before? No, he's never been inside, just the outside. Right, when he was stalking her from the school parking lot. Listen to this.
Had you been to her house before? Did you know what he was doing?
No, just the outside. I was pretty surprised. When we walked inside. How it was a mess. There was stuff everywhere.
Mess. It was a mess.
That's clothes and clutter, and it just wasn't kept. Let's put it that way.
You described
Just wasn't kept. Put it that way. Somebody said I'm turning the color of my border. You know what it is? The light is on. Well, let me change my light for a second, because the light in this room changes as the day goes on. And so now that's more white, and that's really white. Oops. And that's just a little bit warm. Okay. I don't want to be red. Okay. Better? Thanks. Here we go.
so we were in the
That's clothes and clutter, and it just wasn't kept. Let's put it that way.
you described so we were in the house later on, so I got a general idea of the layout.
Okay.
The vest and the gun belt that you described when you
Right when you come in,
Where was that?
the stairs go up. There's a mantle where I saw the gun case, and then straight ahead to the right, straight ahead, there's a couch, and she had her vest, I think some other clothes or whatever on the couch to the left, and her gun belt was right below the vest, right to the right. So before I could even check, while Lieutenant Daly was speaking with her, I tried to position myself over in that area. I just didn't want her to get riled up. I didn't want to start. She's a coworker.
Yep.
I didn't want her to get riled up. She's a coworker. Was there enough clutter to track a cat? Says First Haub. But you did nothing to secure the guns. Again, like trooper or MSP guy, are you going to question him about that?
Get riled up. I didn't want to start. She's a coworker.
Yep. I didn't, from your description, I couldn't tell if you moved it. I know where we found it.
No, I basically pulled the duty belt when she went to another room to check the holster to make sure see if the gun was there or if it wasn't. And right there, I had two areas where there could be firearms, and there's no firearms. So I was a little concerned about that.
You're a little concerned about that. Why didn't you tell her to take you to the weapons so that you could secure them? The way this guy was never charged or maybe even investigated is beyond my comprehension. It's strange credulity. It's strange credulity.
All the way up to what she's in her bedroom.
Yeah.
What were the commands? So she lunges towards that corner area and said, what were the commands you gave her?
Don't do it. Well,
Don't do it.
that took me by surprise. She had the jump on me.
She had the jump on me. She had the jump on me. That took me by surprise. How dare this young woman have the jump on me? Don't do it. He's like, what commands did you give her? Don't do it. If somebody had their gun pointed at you, and let's just say you're a fictional police officer, and somebody had their gun pointed at you, would you say, don't do it? Or would you say, drop the weapon? If they had the firearm pointed at their own head, would you say, don't do it? Or would you say, drop the weapon? I don't know. I'm just spitballing with you here. What makes more sense to you? Did she have the gun pointed at herself or at him?
Don't do it. Well, that took me by surprise. She had the jump on me. Right when she lunged, the OODA loop, I know it takes a split second to a second for your brain to register what's happening.
Okay. OODA loop? Anyone? I could look it up. Right when she lunged, OODA loop? I could Google it. Don't guess if you really know what that means. OODA loop. I'm going to play it again.
Right when she lunged, the OODA loop, I know it takes a split second to a second for your brain to register what's happening. I knew something was happening. And by the time when she came up and presented the firearm and it went click, I could see in her eyes that she was expecting it to go off.
Oh, okay.
That's when she jumped up. And I started yelling at her, don't do it, and drop the gun. Don't do it. Don't do it. And she was already backpedaling and side shuffling. So backpedaling past the bed and doing a side shuffle to her left, which would be to my right. And I was tracking her as she was tap racking and then coming back up on me.
So one of our questions was she intending to shoot herself or intending to point the gun at you, and you believe she was pointing at you?
Yes. I think she was trying to shoot me to get rid of me so she could, I'm not gonna express my own opinion on what I think her true intentions were, but
You already did. You said, I know she wanted to kill me. All right. We learn things here every day. OODA loop. It's the OODA loop. It's a 4-step decision-making model. Observe, orient, decide, act. Developed by the U.S. Air Force Colonel and military strategist John Boyd. Thank you, Zoe. or Air Force Colonel, if you work on Boston 25 and you're talking about Colonel Jeffrey Noble. Observe, orient, decide, act. We learn things every day here. I'm not afraid to tell you I don't know something, because one of you will know it. I'm not going to tell you what I think you're true. And you did. You said, I know she was going to kill me. You said that earlier. Okay. One of our questions was,
her as she was tap racking and then coming back up on me.
So one of our questions was she intending to shoot herself or intending to point the gun at you and be?
was she intending to shoot herself or intending to point the gun at you? Remember, at this time, Kelsey's fighting for her life in the hospital. I don't even think they had a chance to talk to her yet. I don't know when the first time they talked to her was, but I don't think they had an opportunity to speak to her yet. She was fighting for her life. And so I don't think they had spoken to her yet, to the point where she said, I was only trying to take my own life. But here, he's got the question. One of our questions was she intending to shoot herself or you? Even they're suspicious of him. He just loves saying tap, racking, OODA loop a pivot. He's like, yeah, OODA loop. Like, it takes a minute for my brain to register because I'm really slow. They never talked to her, says Lauren. Never. Even this guy has suspicions. Listen.
So one of our questions was she intending to shoot herself or intending to point the gun at you and you believe she was pointing at you?
Yes. I think she was trying to shoot me to get rid of me so she could, I'm not gonna.
She was trying to shoot me to get rid of me, but I'm not gonna express my own opinion on what I think she wanted to do. I don't even know what he's trying to say there. It's word salad. We have an emoji for that.
Express my own opinion on what I think her true intentions were, but I feel like she wanted to get rid of me so she could do other things. Who knows? The baby was still in the house.
Do other things? Who knows? The baby was still in the house? Somebody said, sir, you suck as an actor. I would put the word salad emoji in the chat, except, again, on my iPhone, I can't do emojis on YouTube because they apparently, Google does not have the technology to fix it.
Do other things. Who knows? The baby was still in the house.
2 rounds? You fired?
2 rounds, yep. After all was said and done, I did notice there was the baby room. There was a door with like little square windows in it. If you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? Almost like a French door.
I know what you're describing. I'm trying to picture it. House.
It's a little square, like
And then this was the door to the baby's room?
yes. I noticed that one of the windows was broken, bottom right, and it kind of made me second guess. Did I shoot 2 rounds, or did she get a round off on me and it went through the window? I didn't see any glass on the ground, and
You're
I forget
very experienced officer, and you don't remember if you shot once or twice. You thought because you saw a broken French door window, but there was no glass on the ground. But the whole house was really a mess. So clutter everywhere. It was such a mess. That's how I knew I must have shot twice, but I wasn't really sure because I am a sucky investigator.
through the window. I didn't see any glass on the ground, and I forget the conversation I was having. It was with another officer, and they said, that might be old.
Okay.
So, yeah. So,
Okay.
at that point, I knew I did 2 rounds.
Okay. Any questions?
So what was her reaction?
He's looking at his buddy who's sitting next to him, the other MSP trooper. So, you got anything? And really, these are the only questions they have for him?
Rounds.
Okay. Any questions?
So what was her reaction when her fiance got there?
I don't remember her fiance showing up.
What was the reaction of her fiance? What? Somebody does move the body cam a little bit, not enough to see this trooper's face, but I didn't hear what he said. Let me hear that again.
Reaction when her fiance got there.
Oh, what was her reaction when her fiance got there?
I don't remember her fiance showing up. I was dealing with her. It was some older lady that showed up and she was causing a scene in the living room.
Did you actually see that woman or just hear it out?
No, just heard it. My focus, I just didn't take my eyes off of her. She was 100% like.
If you didn't take your eyes off of her, she wouldn't have got the drop on you, sir. Right? Right?
I just didn't take my eyes off of her. She was 100% like just, it wasn't the person that I know.
The only she was in a safe, normal frame of mind.
No, absolutely.
She wasn't the person that I know. She wasn't the person that I know. Common sense investigator says you don't remember Justin showing up, yet you testified she was trying to get you out of the way to get to Justin. Right. Right. And I think that's what he was going to say when he was like, well, I think she wanted to kill me. And then she wanted to well, I'm not going to tell you my true thoughts on what I think she was going to do because the baby was still in the house. You think that she was going to, and he testified, yeah, I thought she was going to run down the stairs and then kill Justin. And maybe the baby. I guess that's what he wanted to say, but he didn't.
Not that I know. 100% like that.
Did you actually see that woman or just hear it out?
No, just heard it. My focus, I just didn't take my eyes off of her. She was 100% like just, it wasn't the person that I know.
Oh, she had a
The
break?
only she was in a safe, normal frame of mind.
No, absolutely not.
So to your knowledge, in the house at the time, that you, Kelsey, Lieutenant Daly, Officer Houston, and this unknown female.
Yeah, she showed up while I was up at Houston and I were up with Kelsey while she was packing some things up for the baby in the baby's room.
Okay.
And that's, I believe she was causing a scene. Lieutenant Daly, I believe I handed the baby off to him. So I think he was holding the baby. And I think that's when Houston went downstairs to help out whatever was going down. And
Houston, we have a
she was
problem.
pretty loud.
Okay.
Did Kelsey ask who that lady was?
I asked.
And what did she say?
She said she had no idea.
Come on.
And did she say anything when you guys surrender an aid to her?
She said, it hurts. It hurts. She grabbed my hand. I said, just keep breathing. Stay with us. You have a son. And then I asked her why. And she stopped talking. She just stared right through me. The same look she gave me right before she went for the gun.
She stared right through you. Could it be because maybe she lost consciousness because you just shot her through and through in the chest and shattered her ribs? She gave me that look that she gave me right before she went for the gun. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We both reached for the gun. If you did not see Pink playing Roxy last night on the Tonys, all that jazz, you missed out. You can find it on YouTube. You know, Chicago was my favorite musical.
And I do remember leaving that bedroom to the right of the door frame where she lunged. There was something there. I don't know if it was like a little ottoman or a basket or something, but on top, it looked like maybe this big, almost like a jewelry box. So I think.
Well, we can't see his hand, so we don't know when he says maybe this big. I do remember seeing something like maybe like a jewelry box. I think it looked like a shoebox, like a pink shoebox. You remember what he's talking about?
Maybe this big, almost like a jewelry box. So I think that's where she must have hidden it because it was open. It was like a.
If you didn't, okay. Both things can't be true. You cannot have had your eyes on her the entire time and not know where she got the weapon from. Am I right? So which is it? You were in the hallway and you couldn't see what she was doing, so then you didn't have your eyes on her the entire time. Or you went downstairs with the books that she didn't need because her baby's like, it's only 6 months old or so. It doesn't need books. And leave her alone. Thank you, Bruce, for your Venmo. What is suspicious about a woman with a child in the house securing her weapons in a safe rather than a gun case? My gun case is empty because hold on, weapon is secured elsewhere. Well, he didn't care enough to even find out, but he was so suspicious.
Like a wooden box, and it was open. Because I scanned that room when she was, I stepped in the door frame and looked around, and I no, didn't see anything. I was looking for a gun.
Okay.
You didn't ask her to take you to her weapons so that you could secure them? This makes no sense. He's a poor excuse for a law enforcement officer, says Grandma Mochi.
No questions. That's it.
And that is it. That, although it took me a very long time to get through, is only a 23-minute interview because I can't shut up. It was only 23 minutes. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. What do you think of that? Officer involved shooting. He gets interviewed for 23 minutes and they don't even put the camera on him at all. And Trial Files tells us the recording provided ends here. No additional video was provided for this interview. Go on over and subscribe to Trial Channel's other channel, Trial Files, where you will find other things such as Canton Sallyport video. All kinds of Canton Sallyport video. Kelsey Fitzsimmons arrested in the hospital. Full body cam video from August 6th of 2025. How long is this?
Just want to let you know, I do have my body camera on still.
It's 15 minutes. Have you seen this? I do have a little bit of a hard stop here because I need to jump on the Proctor 415 Zoom. Debbie 30, thank you for your 5. I watched you cover Karen Reed Trial 1 from Berman's Lock in London. Highly recommend it. It's an apart hotel near the tower and lots of great restaurants. Thank you. Charles says beef tallow is highly rendered oil from beef fat. Oh, thank you so much. It is really, it is life-changing so far. I'm so happy to have found it. Sarah Brown says Tim Pool's coverage of the Aaron Spencer case is infuriating. He outright states that the cops lost the SD card to cover for Spencer and repeatedly calls him a vigilante. I don't know. I do not feel that the cops were on Aaron Spencer's side, so I don't know. I can't comment on that without knowing more. F. Fanta Steve says the only disarray is his story and corruption in mass. And then Venus Blue Cupcake says email sent on racist cop in Arkansas that was just fired. Thank you. I don't think I have time to cover that right now, but I will look for it. Tara says, why was he going to take her in custody for a restraining order? Excellent question. We'd all like to know. They were going to section her. That was the plan. Based on what? I don't know. Zoe said Noonan narrating his inability to control a scene and failure to follow fundamentals of police training 101. But keep on talking, Noonan, Mr. Big Man. We see you. You're the D student in the class. Thank you, Zoe, for always being here. Max said he thought if he sectioned her, the department would be off the hook. Chastity says apparently the amount of baby items did matter. Colonel Slanders. Otherwise, why would Justin need to keep coming back to the house? Carrie wants to know, did the chief ever step down? I don't know the answer to that question. Does anybody know if the chief ever stepped down, Chief Gray, in this case? I know that they were calling for him to step down like the other officers or some. I don't remember exactly now. I don't want to screw it up. Let me know if you know. Allie says, also don't forget about Gray placing himself on leave. Oh, he placed himself on leave after this. What the hell's going on with that? I'd like to discuss that later if anyone knows. So between Allie and Kerry, did the chief ever step down? Allie says Chief Gray put himself on leave. He put himself on paid leave, says Common Sense Investigator. And Mastad confirming he's on paid administrative leave that he put himself on. Peace and Plenty confirming that beef tallow is melted down beef fat. Well, it's amazing. It's amazing. It has lipids in it, apparently. I'm addicted. I've pinned it in the chat somewhere. My life-changing $30 face cream. Listen, you can pay $300 for La Mer. I have in the past. I've also tried every single moisturizer on the market. Nothing has changed my skin in the very short period of time that I've bought this beef tallow. Then who knew? You guys knew all this time and you never told me the secret? Dina says, thank you, Melanie, for all you do. You're amazing. No, Dina, you are. You are. Hello, says it's 2026. Every police department should have body cams. What are they using tax money for? Lawsuits. Well done. I would love to have a job that puts me on paid leave, says Katie Madison. Wouldn't we all? I mean, have you seen the price of gas lately? Well, please. Well, thanks, Tiff and Megan, for sending me the order on Aaron Spencer. It says on June 4th, 2026, the court entered an order granting defendants' motion to dismiss. Aaron Spencer is released from all bond obligations and conditions associated with this case. Upon order of the court, it is hereby dismissed with prejudice. It is so ordered. I mean, with prejudice means they can't try him again, but there could be a little glitch in the law where they could appeal the judge's decision. The state of Arkansas may be able to, but I'm glad that he clarified that in writing. And so he's released from all bond obligations. He may be the next Lonoke County sheriff, and I hope he does. Aaron Spencer is freed. Another great thing that we got to celebrate together and follow throughout. Bud Brown, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. You are one of the most amazing members of the Snark Tank. You guys are called the Snark Tank for a reason. You know it. I know it. We all know it. All right, let me see. A lot of you have sent me emails on London. Thank you very much. Where to stay, what to do. I got a great piece of advice from a mom who took her daughter to Taylor Swift at Wembley, and she said, stay at the hotel right in Wembley because it took them an hour to get there in an Uber. And after you get out in an Uber, at least just for that night, after you get out in an Uber, you can't find one. There are no Ubers. Your thing will spin and spin and spin. And that I think is great advice. But as far as the other nights that I'm going to be there, tell me what neighborhood you like the best in London. Something that's similar to like a Soho or Tribeca in New York. Cool shops, cool restaurants, walking distance. Let me know your thoughts. I love you so much. I can't believe you guys have sent me so much really good advice because I love you so much. Don't forget there's 20% off in the merch shop. So get on over there and get yourself something. Hold on, because we have a baby model. We have a baby model. Her name is Little G. Her name is Little G. And her Grammy is Good Citizen Weymouth. And you want to see pictures of Little G? Wait, well, that's nice, but that's not in my merch. Hold on, wait. She's adorable. I meant send me pictures of her in the merch because she's the merch model. Hang on. I don't want to just put your baby on without your permission, but we need stuff with the merch. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get off. I'm going to watch the Proctor 415 Zoom hearing, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna report back to you. I just don't know what time that's going to be. So you're gonna have to just be on call. You're just gonna have to be on call, like you're, the doctor or something. Okay. If I can broadcast it, I will. If there's no prohibition against it, I will just get right on and broadcast it. But I don't know. I don't know if you're Aylaian. I don't think you're blocked from my channel. I'm not sure what you're talking about. YouTube has been blocking people. Send me the link to your channel. I can't do anything without the link to your channel, but a lot of people get blocked because there's also some mass reporting going on because somebody told people that they can just mass report people by clicking on the report next to their name. And then they get blocked by YouTube. So send me the channel name of your channel. Even if you think you don't have a channel, you do. You have a channel. And I need the link. There's no other way for me to do it. There's a lot of glitches. Hang on a second. Looks like there's some filings here because Tiff is always on it. This is a proposed order on motion to provisionally impound Exhibits A. But is this the one that they filed before 4? Or these are the ones that were filed, let's say 6/8 today, 2:22 p.m. These could be the ones that were filed last night. It says this, Proctor's attorney says this. You know what? I'm going to do this in the Proctor show that we're going to do after the conference. Okay. So let's all go take another break. Just be on call. I'm not even going to set it up right now. Just keep looking back. If you see me go live, you'll get a notification. Okay. Thank you all for spending so much of your day with me already today. There is so much for us to cover that it's just, we never get a break. That's why we got to go hydrate. Let's all go hydrate. Go hydrate. I love you. I will see you very soon. Thank you to the moderators, because without them, I couldn't do this all day long like I do. It's just another manic Monday. It's just how it is. I love you guys so much. I'm going to see you real soon. If I don't see you soon, I'm going to die. All right. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. Send me your emails about London. My email's in the show notes below the video. You got to be smart enough to find it if you want to reach me. It is the only email that I use for YouTube. I'm going to say that again. Fanbase@mlittlelaw is the only email that I use for YouTube. If you Google my name and find some weird email address from 10 years ago, and you're like, why aren't you responding to me? And I'm like, why aren't you, what email are you sending it to? That's why. I also can't respond to all emails because I get like 700 a day, and I open on my inbox and it's so full that I get upset and I just close it without doing anything. All right. I'll see you guys real soon. Hopefully. Go sub up to Grant Smith Ellis. Let's see how many subs he has so far. Hold on. We're making it a personal mission to get him to 10,000 subs. I forget. What was it when we started? It was 9.28. And now he is up to 9.63. You guys are getting it done. You're getting it done. At least, I don't know, almost like a little under 400 subs. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can. I love you. I see you real soon. Mwah! Bye. Share the stream out. Hype it. All the things. Comment, like, subscribe. Bye.